Friday late. We'll get started on discussing verse from Bhagavad-gita, chapter 8. But before we go that, we'll do a brief prayer to the Spiritual Master. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gaur Premanande. Okay, so let us get started with our reading. And I'm just trying to see how many are here now.
Now we are 7.
Vindhya Sukomal Mataji. We have, I'm just going by the way you all appear. So I see Sutapa. I also see Garima. There, Garima Mataji.
Jyoti, Kiran
And Goyal was the first one to join us.
Sutapa,
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
Varsha Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Varshana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Okay, so now we're going to concentrate, okay? And we are going to read first from the Bhagavad-gita. So I'm going to start. Which chapter are we doing, dear friends?
Chapter 8.
Attaining the Supreme.
Very nice. So let's go there and let's read Attaining the Supreme.
Okay.
Not a bad idea to attain the Supreme, is it?
We have to get the way.
We have to find the way.
Yeah.
Find the way.
Yeah.
Okay. So text 1. Can I start, Mataji?
No, but you didn't say the order to everyone.
Yes, let me see.
Who is there?
That is a super enthusiastic reader who wants to read.
Who wants to start?
So please note down
Mataji?
the order in which you are appearing. Okay. The
Okay.
first one, I've tried to be first come, first serve as I saw them on my screen. No biases here. Kiran Goyal Mataji, Vindhyavali Mataji, Sukomal Radhe. So try to remember who goes before and who comes after. Sukomal Radhe, Sutapa Mataji, Garima Mataji, Varshana Mataji. Did I
Mataji,
miss?
I am driving, sorry. I have a
Okay.
pickup duty. So
Okay, so Garima won't be able to read. But so we have 5 of us reading today. Kiran, Vindhyavali, Sukomal, Sutapa, Varshana. After Varshana, again.
I am also there, Mataji.
Oh, sorry, Mataji.
Jyoti Mataji.
Yeah. How come it doesn't show me on the screen?
Kiran
Okay.
Goyal Mataji.
Kiran Goyal is first. Kiran Goyal goes first, right? That's
No,
fine.
Jyoti was there before.
So Jyoti was there. Anyway, doesn't matter. Kiran, Vindhyavali, Sukomal, Sutapa, Varshana, and Jyoti. Okay? All right. So let me start sharing my screen here. Chapter 8. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, then go ahead, Kiran Goyal Mataji, give us one verse. If somebody else joins, please let me know because I'm not looking at the participant list.
Bhagavad-gita, chapter 8, text 1. Arjun Uvach. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me.
Thank you.
Vindhyavali Mataji.
Mataji, do we have to read the sloka also?
You read what is being showed on the screen here.
Okay, whatever you say. Who is the Lord of sacrifice? And how does he live in the body? O Madhusudana, and how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? Oh, that is a good question.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the Self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruitive activities.
O based of the embodied beings, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adhibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods, like those of the sun and moon, is called Adhideva, and I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adi Gyana, the Lord of Sacrifice.
Adi Yajna.
Adi Yagna.
Yeah, and it is Adhi, not
Adhi.
Adhi. Adhi
Okay,
Yajna.
yeah.
Yeah,
Adi
all these are,
Yagna.
yeah, Yajna.
Yes,
Right?
Mataji.
How you say Yajna, the fire sacrifice, right? And then again, here also it is Adhibhuta. This is for everybody. Adhibhuta, Charo Bhava, right? Puruṣa cha Adidaivatam. Adhi Yajna Aham Eva. Adhibhuta, Adideva, and Adhi Yajna. So soft A there. Okay.
Sorry, Mataji, to interrupt, but Kiran Khosla Mataji is saying that she is not able to join. Are you able to do anything?
She's not able to join. I can't do anything because this software doesn't allow me to. She has that problem frequently, right?
She just said,
No. Not able to join doesn't mean like. Is it a? I thought she was saying she can
oh,
join.
she is not able to join today.
Yeah.
Okay. It meant two things, so both ways.
Yeah, that I
Okay.
just thought I understood that to mean that, and that's why I responded that way.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So then, who is going next now?
Me.
Tapa had finished.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
And
Prashant.
whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Hare Krishna.
Jyoti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, whatever state of being one remember when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, the state he will attain without fail.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me.
Hold on.
No, it's
Yeah,
Kiran.
that's my turn. Yeah. Text 7. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Hare Krishna.
He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he who, O Partha, is sure to reach me. Hare Krishna.
One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material nature.
One who, at the time of death, fixes his life here between the eyebrows and, by the strength of yoga, with an undeviating mind, engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion, will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Hare Krishna. Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter ahaṅkāra, and who are great sages in renounced order, enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna ji. The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life here at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga. Hare Krishna ji.
Text 13. After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. Hare Krishna.
For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain. O son of Bharata, because of his constant engagement in devotional service.
After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection.
From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to me abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again.
By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. Hare Krishna.
At the beginning of Brahma's days, all living entity become manifest from the unmanifest state, and therefore when the night falls, they are merged into unmanifest again.
Text 19. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. Hare Krishna.
Yet there is another unmanifest nature, which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Hare Krishna.
That which the Vedantists
Yeah, this has come up on top of it. Okay. Yeah.
That which the Vedantists describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all-pervading and everything is situated within him.
O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which, passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back. Hare Krishna.
Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during influence of the fairy god in the light at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of waxing moon and during the 6 months from when the sun travels in the north.
Text 25. The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back. Hare Krishna.
According to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world. One in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back. But when one passes in darkness, he returns.
Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion.
A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode.
Madhavi
Hare Krishna.
Sangini Dasi joined.
And we finished.
Mataji, Kiran is asking for the link again to join. There
No,
is
she just
something.
What should we do?
No, after that she said that you told her to restart her device. She said okay. After that, there's nothing.
She said, I'm not successful.
Tell me, what can I do
It's okay, Mataji.
to help? Only Krishna can help. Internet is down. Okay, so I heard a beep and that was Madhav's singing. Okay, nice. Nice. Okay, so
Hare
let's do
Krishna,
our
I just joined now.
Hare Krishna. Let's do our verse for today. And which is verse number what?
5.
Verse number 5 today? Did we do
Yes,
four?
We were still on 4, and you
Hmm.
were saying we have to say something more.
You said
Yeah.
that we will explain it further.
We never did 4 actually.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we didn't do 4. We didn't.
Aruni Mataji hijacked the whole class by asking a
Yeah.
question. I'm forgetting what that question was, but
Right.
it was hijacked. So we're continuing to do, yeah. But before we do that, the reason in chapter 8 onwards, I'm asking you all to read the chapter together every day is that so that you see the connectivity between all the verses, right? Because at the end of 7th chapter, I didn't see that connectivity in our minds, right? So based on the readings that you did, and especially for the sections that you read, right? What are the things that you have retained? And if somebody was to ask you that question, that what are the chapters that are done in chapter 8? What are the topics that are covered? So some keywords, if you can share. You don't have to give me a whole discourse on that, just keywords. What is discussed? You have read, right?
Yes, Mataji.
The beauty of Gita is we read it and we forget it. It's that fresh. Krishna says.
That's true.
Yeah, we keep reading it and we keep forgetting it, right? So, yeah. But give me a gist, like what if somebody was to ask you what is chapter 8 all about? So how does it start?
Arjuna was inquiring about the
Okay,
Supreme
good. What
and
was he asking?
Brahman, Supreme Brahman, and what is the self, what are future activities, what is the material manifestation, and what are the demigods. And he asked Lord to explain.
Good. Anything else?
That's when what is a lot of sacrifice? And he's still asking, and how does he live in the body?
Mhm.
And
And
how
what was the
can,
verse what was the verse that you read?
part of the verse I read? I'm just telling everything, Mataji. Which one I read?
Well, you said that's a good verse also. When you were
That's
reading
that
it.
same one. Who is the Lord of
Yeah.
Sacrifice?
No. What is it? End of the life.
Oh, same verse.
Whoever at the end of life
Like
quits his
That is
body.
fifth one.
Think.
I read it, Mataji. Antakale chamame.
Antakale chamame. Smaranam
Antakale Chamameva
Smaranam.
was not the one that Vindhyavali said is good.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's the second one, second verse.
That's what I was reading. Mata just told me to get out. Who is a Lord of sacrifice and how does he live in the body? And then how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death?
That's the part you like,
That's
right?
what the one I read.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you remember, Vashana? Mataji?
Mataji, whatever one remembers at the time when one quits the body, he gets the body accordingly.
Okay. Was there
Whatever he
something very
remembers.
powerful in that verse that Krishna said?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, what is the question?
Was there something very powerful that Krishna said in that verse that you read? Go back, open the verse and see.
Mataji, fifth, I read the fifth one, fifth shloka, and he said, whatever one remembers at the time when one quits the body, if he remembers me alone, then he attains my nature.
Yes, and what was
of
very
this he
powerful,
says
he
there
said
is
that.
no doubt about it.
Isn't
There is
that the
no
most
doubt.
powerful thing?
Yes,
Yeah,
Mataji,
there is no doubt
He is
about it.
giving the assurance also that there is no doubt. If you
Right.
remember me, and you will attain me.
Right, right. Okay, what else? What else do you remember? Kiran,
The
go ahead,
one who
Mataji.
meditates
Yeah,
on me.
Mataji, I read 7th verse and I thought that's the essence. Bhagwan is
And-
giving the real message.
And
that
what is
you
the
should-
real message?
That you should always think of me in the form of Krishna. At the same time, you should carry out your prescribed duty, which
That's
is
wonderful.
fighting in the case of Arjuna.
Good. What else?
And if you dedicate all your duties, whatever you are doing, all the activities, you dovetail them into me, towards me, and your mind and intelligence is fixed on me, you will attain me without any doubt. You will attain me without any doubt. But these are the conditions, that you have to think of me in the form of Krishna, you have to dedicate all your activities to me, you have to fix your mind and intelligence on me. Then you will definitely attain me without any doubt.
Nice.
So beautiful path, real path Krishna is showing.
What else? You read or you heard somebody say? Is that all in chapter 8? We are only up to verse 7.
One who meditates on me and without any deviation, like undeviated from remembering again in the thinking of meditating on God will surely reach to him. That struck me the most.
Very nice. Okay. What else? Others, I want others also to come
He
up.
also says that if you remember me without deviation and just close the door of your senses, then I'm very easy to obtain.
Okay, closing the door of the senses, right? That's the most
Yeah.
difficult thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second thing which struck me
you do the
most was
sorry?
that the second thing which struck me most, which you also told me last time, that at the time of that doesn't matter whether you think of God or not. This thing, if you are a devotee, whatever is the state, whether it is a waxing moon or it is daytime or anything, if you are a devotee, God will take care of you.
Okay.
And another thing is,
so
if
God will take care of it is one aspect of it, right? Saying that having faith in the God, that God will not do anything bad to me, so-called bad, right? That I am a God's devotee, so He will make sure that I depart at the time when there is the, waxing moon and when the sun is in the north and all that, right? There's one aspect of thinking that God will take care of me, right? But in this chapter, it goes even beyond that, towards the end. Go look towards the end, 26. I think verse number 26, 27, around that area. Go and look and see and tell me what is the message.
Mataji, what is that we read in the another thing? If it is daytime, you will again born. No, if it is night
No,
time,
it's the other way.
again you will born, and then daytime you will attain. Is that the way?
Mataji, text 27.
Text 27, correct. And what
Yeah,
is
text 27 is saying
Yeah,
that the
over.
devotees are never bewildered. They don't care about these two paths, that there are two paths, go in light or go in darkness. They say because they are fixed in devotion. They're always fixed in devotion. So they are never bewildered. So
Yeah.
it means...
Yes, that is important, right? One way is to think that God will take care of me and take me to the better place. And other way is not caring whether He's going to take me to the better place or not. In which one will you have a better peace of mind?
We want to be in His service wherever we live.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Because even if you think that, Krishna is great and I am His devotee and He'll take care of me at the time of death, then you will still have the fear, two types of fear. One, what if Krishna won't take care? Right? And second is like, what if I fall down and I don't become a devotee or something happens, right? Like that. So that those thoughts are there. So the better consciousness, a better consciousness is that we don't even bother. Wherever He goes, I'm just thinking that I just want to have association of the Lord.
The one I was asking is the previous one, Mataji.
Yes.
36, yeah.
Okay, so now let's go and look at our
verse 8.4.
8.4.
Adhibhutam ksharobhava purushat adidevatam adiyagyo aham eva dehe deh bhutam var.
Dehe deha bhutam vara.
Adhibhuta sharobhava purushascha adidevatam adiyagyo ahamevatra dehe deha britambara. Adhibhutam sharobhava purushascha adidevatam adiyagyo ahamevatra dehe deha britambara. Adhibhutam sharobhava purushascha adidevatam adiyagyoham evatra dehe deha bhritamvara. Adhibhutam, the physical manifestation. Bhut means this physical material worlds. Adhibhutam, the physical manifestation. Sharaha, constantly changing. Bhavaha, nature. Purushaha, the universal form, including all the demigods like the sun and the moon. Cha and Adhidaivatam, called Adhidaiva. Adhiyagya, the super soul. Aham, I, Krishna. Eva, certainly. Atra, in this. Dehe, body. Deha bhritam, one of the embodied. Vara, O best. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature which is constantly changing is called Adhibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods like those of the sun and moon, is called Adhideva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adhiyagya, the Lord of sacrifice. Right? So now we know universal form of the Lord is called what?
Adhibhuta.
Adhidaiva.
Adhideva.
Adhideva. Okay.
Adhideva.
Right. And this physical nature which is constantly changing is called what?
Adhibhuta.
Adhibhuta. And then the Lord of the sacrifice is what?
Adiyajna.
Adiyajna.
Okay. So let's look at the
Adiyajna.
Purport. Yeah. The physical nature is constantly changing. Material bodies generally pass through 6 stages. They are born, they grow, they remain for some time, some duration, they produce some byproducts, they dwindle, and then they vanish. This physical nature is called Adhibhuta. And then they vanish. This physical nature is called Adhibhuta. It is created at a certain point and will be annihilated at a certain point. The conception of the universal form of the Supreme Lord, which includes all the demigods and their different planets, is called Adhidevata. And present in the body along with the individual souls is the Super Soul, a plenary representation of Lord Krishna. The Super Soul is called the Paramatma or Aridhyagya and is situated in the heart. The word Eva is particularly important in the context of this verse because by this word, the Lord stresses that Paramatma is not different from him. The Super Soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, seated beside the individual soul, is the witness of the individual soul's activities and is the source of the soul's various types of consciousness. The Super Soul gives the individual soul an opportunity to act freely and witness his activities. The functions of all these different manifestations of the Supreme Lord automatically become clarified for the pure Krishna conscious devotee engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. The functions, I'll repeating, the functions of all these different manifestations of the Supreme Lord automatically become clarified for the pure Krishna conscious devotee engaged in transcendental service to the Lord. The gigantic universal form of the Lord is called Adhidevata, is contemplated by the neophyte who cannot approach the Supreme Lord in his manifestation as the Super Soul. The neophyte is advised to contemplate the universal form or Virat Purusha, whose legs are considered the lower planets, whose eyes are considered the sun and the moon, and whose head is considered the upper planetary system. Thoughts?
He as Paramatma, he witnessed everything, but he leaves us to free. What is it? Leaves us free to. But whatever we are doing, he witness, but he won't say at that time. Is that right, Mataji?
And at what time will he say?
Our deeds only, our karma only. It comes into. Is that right?
Let's see thoughts from others. So Krishna is situated in our heart. He doesn't say anything.
Paramatma.
As Paramatma. And what's the word used here for Paramatma in today's verse? Sanskrit.
Supreme, attains the Supreme.
Supreme Lord represented as Super Soul.
Sanskrit mein jawab do.
Adiyajna.
What it means.
Adiyajna.
Adiyajna, yeah.
Adi Yajna, yeah, not Adi. Adi.
Adiyajna.
Adi Yajna, right? Yeah. So my question was that when will the Adi Yajna, Vandavali Mataji is saying doesn't say anything. So I'm asking the question, when will Adi Yajna start to say anything?
Start to?
Say something.
Say something. But here he says he just witnessed everything, what we are doing.
That's fine. But
my question is why when he will say.
My question is, that is my question.
Yeah.
So you are supposed to answer it.
I was going to ask you, Mataji.
So my question is that does the Super Soul in your heart stay silent all the time, is it?
No. It's giving us instructions all the time.
And then
Taking
what
us,
is it? How come we are
taking
saying
us
it
away
doesn't say
from the
anything?
bad, taking us away from the bad things. Like if we are going to touch the fire, it automatically tells us, and not to go to the wrong path. Though it gives us free will, but even then, because he is our father, he is our protector, he tries to.
So what are the things that does he tell you? So it seems like he's talking, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji, in my consciousness, he tells me that this is not the right thing to do. And it comes for a fraction of a second, Mataji. And then if I'm ignoring, then Mataji, that thought goes away and I start doing the thing what I want to do. So that is the problem, Mataji.
That is where the problem.
Right. So what is the problem?
The problem is I listen to my own mind instead of listening to my consciousness.
Yeah, I don't listen to the voice of conscience, which is voice of God. The conscience, as people say, is Krishna telling you things, right? And that is why there's that famous verse, right? There are two birds sitting on a tree.
Yeah.
Yes. Tree. So my question was, I was hoping somebody will remember this verse and talk about that and give that reference. And then so it says that Krishna will start talking to you when this bird will turn its face towards Krishna and speak something, and then Krishna starts to speak, right? And we see that in the second chapter of Bhagavad-gita. We saw that, right? When Arjuna surrenders, karpanya doshopahata ham shadi mam tom prapannam, right? Says, I've surrendered to you. So when you surrender to Krishna, he will speak very loudly. Or, he will continue to speak as he has been speaking. We will be tuning our ears more towards Krishna. So he does talk. He does talk to us, right?
Mataji, I have a question. When I want to do something, okay, that is bad or good, I don't know. I want to do something. But when I say, Krishna, please let my mind know what is good. If I say that, will I get right away my answer?
No.
Yes.
I'm surrendering it to him.
Yeah. But then, a true surrender is something that you will only know from inside. And that is because there are so many conflicting ideas in our head. So many ideas in our head. And we are here full of the tendency to enjoy this material world.
Yes, of course.
So we might say to Krishna that, please guide me and I'm surrendered and all that. But is it really true surrender? If it's happening at that moment you are surrendered.
So what is that? I'm surrendering to him.
Truly
but
from
what
the heart,
is that? Right? Is not true.
From the heart, you will know.
Yeah, that
whatever
from the heart only. I want the correct guidance from him.
Yes.
That's why I'm surrendering.
Exactly. And then the guidance is not coming, or is it coming? Or the guidance that is coming is not what you were liking or what you were thinking.
Most probably that might be the thing.
Right? So we talked about that a few classes ago, that your prayers are always answered.
Yes,
sometimes the answer is no. Right? I'm a soul surrendered to you, Krishna. Please let me memorize this chapter 8. Doesn't happen.
Okay.
Right? So true surrender is, then that's why as you keep on going back again and again, that's why people can use this Bhagavad-gita as a book for the whole life, and many, many lives. You can just use this one book. And what is the famous verse from Bhagavad-gita? Karmanevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Do not focus on the results. So even if I ask Krishna for something and if I didn't get it, fine. The true surrender is fine. Krishna doesn't want to give it to me this time. And it's a very difficult thing. Very difficult, because that expectation is there. And why that problem is there? Because we are thinking from our puny intellect. From puny intellect, from our small intellect, we are trying to think that this is good for me. So we have a problem and we solve that problem through our material mind and come up with a solution, which is not a right solution. And when the solution comes from a super intelligent person who has got a transcendental mind, then it doesn't match with what we were thinking, and then we don't like it. Right? So we say Krishna is not talking. Krishna is talking to you all the time. Krishna is answering all your prayers. You're speaking to him. He is giving you an answer. We don't like that answer. So we say Krishna didn't hear our prayer.
So no matter whether it is against my thinking, that answer, Paramatma
your liking,
against my liking, then I should go for it.
Yes. And that is the practice we have to do. That's why we have words Brahma says in the 10th canto, right? That whenever something wrong happens to us, who wants to have wrong done to them? Nobody. We don't get up in the morning and say, okay, let the bullet come and hit me. Right? But if it hits you, then what do we do? Right? What do we do at that time?
Krishna.
Right? For example, there was this aeroplane crash, right? One in India. And one lady had missed the flight, I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he had missed the flight, what do you think? She might have been praying all the way, Krishna, 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 Lord, don't let me miss this flight. And then still she missed the flight, like, dang, Krishna is not listening to my prayers. And then you come and sit down, open the television, and you hear the news, and you were like, oh, Krishna was right. And so that's what happens to us all the time. Krishna, when
I was hearing
loving,
that one air hostess bag they found that Bhagavad-gita.
yeah, that's not the topic for discussion here. What I'm just trying to emphasize is the part that we pray to Krishna, and whenever he does things at that moment, it might look like it is not conducive to us, but then when we look at it over a time continuum, it was the right thing to happen to us. Look back at your lives and see all the bad things that apparently bad things happened. They happened. Were they really bad, or was something good that came out of it? Sometimes somebody might say that, oh, my spouse was very abusive, very bad, and like that we might just think it's very, very bad. But over a period of time, what did you learn? You learned tolerance. You learned patience, like that. So over a period of time, when you look at things, or when you look back with a different eyes. So Adi Yajna is saying is Krishna, who is living in our hearts, and he does speak to it and to us. Now, one other thing that he's also saying is that he's the Lord of all sacrifices. Because sometimes people might say, oh, Lord of all sacrifices is Vishnu. Oh, Lord of all sacrifices is Shiva. They might just say like that. But Krishna is saying that no matter what sacrifice you do to whoever you do, he is the Lord of all the sacrifices. And in 5th chapter, last verse we read, right? Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam. Right? Sarva loka maheshwaram. Suhrit sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantirichyati. So if you think that Krishna is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices, right? Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam. Sarva loka maheshwaram, that he is the controller of everything. Understand that also. And he using the word controller here also in the 8th chapter. Kavin Puranam Anusasitaram, right? In 8.8 or 8.9, he's saying that. So he controls everything. So he's saying that. In the 9th chapter also, he will talk about, whatever sacrifices are offered, they all come to him. So he is the Lord of all sacrifices. He's that. And how does he live in your heart? As the Paramatma. So when this universe is formed, right? So universe is formed by when Mahavishnu, lying on the ocean, on the causal ocean, or Karunadakshayi Vishnu, when he exhales, all the universes come out from the pores of his body. And then inside each universe, which is half filled with water, right, there is one Vishnu that is lying, who's coming from Mahavishnu, and he is Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. Now, in the Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, from the navel of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, this lotus stem sprouts. All these created human beings and creatures, everybody is created there, right? And when they are created, then this Garbhodakshayi Vishnu again expands into many, 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 and enters into our hearts as the Super Soul, Paramatma, or here Adi Yajna. You got that?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Anybody wants to summarize what they heard about how the universe is created and how all these Vishnus come?
They created from Garbhodakshayi Vishnu's pores.
Who is created?
That all the universes.
No. Can somebody give me a better word? From all the universes are created from whom?
Garbhodakshayi.
So from Mahasankarshan.
No.
If we use the word Sankarshan.
Karanakshayi.
Karanakshayi Vishnu. Yeah. Karan means cause, right? Who is the cause of all this? Mahavishnu.
Yes, Karanadakshayi is lying, and from his pores, all the universes come out, and from that,
from his navel, Brahma will be.
Okay, let Varshana complete. Yeah, please.
All the planets come out, and then from
planets come out, or what comes out? What's that one word? Universes. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Come out, and then from the that lotus stem.
Whose lotus stem?
Krishna and the Karanodakshayi Vishnu's. Garbhodakshayi Vishnu's.
Correct.
And then all the entities are there, and they are created, And of course, Brahmaji is created, and then he comes in the form of Paramatma. Karano-dakshai Vishnu comes in the form of Paramatma in every living entity.
Very nice. And what is that name called for Paramatma?
Karano-dakshai Vishnu,
Nirodakshai
Mahavishnu.
Vishnu.
Hey, get your Vishnus right.
Karano-dakshai Vishnu.
How can it be
Hare
Karana
Krishna.
Dakshai? Karan we said is cause.
Yeah.
The cause
Hare
of all the creation will be
Yeah.
the Karana Dakshai Vishnu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Karno-dakshai Vishnu, he is lying and he's exhaling. When he
Where is
exhales,
he? Where is he lying?
he's
The
lying in
causal ocean.
Ocean,
Karno ocean, causal ocean.
Causal ocean or Karanodak, right? Karanodak.
Karnodak.
Odak means, ocean.
Karnodak,
Karan,
ocean.
okay?
Yeah, and
He's lying
from
there.
his body, from the pores of his body, when he exhales, unlimited number of universes come out and they are
Okay.
floating in the water.
Okay.
And then he expands himself into Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and when he enters there, he sees that there is darkness. So from his sweat, he fills whole half of the universe with water, and he lies down over there. And from his navel, a lotus stem erupts, and on the top of the lotus stem, Brahma takes birth, and there are
What is this
14
Vishnu called?
Garbhodakshai Vishnu.
And on what water is he lying?
He's Garbhodak
Garbhodak.
ocean.
Yeah.
Garbhodak ocean.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
on that stem, there are 14 planetary systems. And then
Okay.
he expands himself into Kshirodakshai Vishnu, and he enters every universe, every living entity in the form of Paramatma.
Even
Every atom, yeah,
everything
every
will
atom,
enter. Right.
and in the form of Paramatma, super soul, or we can call him
Right.
Adi Yajna.
Right. Good. So you understand when Vishnu says, when Krishna says, everything is in me and I am in everything, right? When he says that, what does he mean? Everything in me, we are referring to as the Karano-dakshai Vishnu. Because everything is inside him. When he exhales, everything comes out. And then inhales, everything goes back into him, right? So everything is in him. And then when he says, I am in everything, that is when he expands as the Kshirodakshai Vishnu. First he becomes Garbhodakshai becomes Kshirodakshai, enters into everybody, our heart, your heart, even up to the atoms, right? So that's why in Brahma Samhita it says, Parmanu, Parmantarasam, so that I am even in the Parmanu, I am even in the atom. So that is why. And it is such an inconceivable thing. How can we think of that? We can't, right? Because in the material world, it doesn't happen like that. Either something is inside you or you are inside something. You cannot be both like that because we don't have the concept of expanding. I can't expand myself into multiple, right? But Krishna can do like that. So again, who is the first Vishnu?
Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu.
And give a better
Karno-dakshai.
Karano-dakshai
Karno-dakshai
Vishnu.
Karno-dakshai Vishnu.
Right.
He's
And
lying
then
in
who's the
the
next one?
causal ocean.
Garbhodakshai.
Garbhodakshai Vishnu.
And then
Garbhodakshai.
Kshirodakshai.
And then who's the third?
Kshirodakshai Vishnu.
Right?
Lying in Kshir,
And then
ocean of
Kshirodakshai
milk.
Vishnu in the ocean of milk.
Oh,
Kshir Sagar.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji got frozen.
Woman.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
we couldn't see you
question
for
is
a few
that-
seconds.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Okay, yeah. My question, actually, I forgot my question. There was an internet problem here,
Yes.
but it was just flashing that message. So we were talking about these three Vishnus, and I was asking you that this Vishnu looks like a man or a woman.
Man, of course.
Yeah, it's the same
Purusha.
man. Yes,
Purusha
and that is
avatar.
why,
Yeah.
that is why all of them are called Purusha avatar.
Purusha avatar.
Purusha avatar.
Right? So that is one way of using the word Purusha. Now he's also talking now. So he had asked so many things. Now Adhibhuta Sharobhava. So he's saying Adhibhuta Sharobhava. So it's all this material world is Sharo. Sharo, there's Akshar and there is Shar. Shar means that one that perishes.
Changing.
And Akshar is that doesn't perish. And in the Purport, Prabhupada talks about that there are 6 stages in which in the material world, right? A person in a material body goes through 6 stages. What were they? Birth, death, right? Birthing, growing up, becoming a youth, staying on, dwindling, and then dying finally. These are the 6 that he's talking about. So here he's saying that it is shar. Shar means that it will change, right? But then Krishna is also saying that I am this. Adhibhuta Aksharo Bhava. Because in chapter 7, he had said, you understand me as this, Adhibhut.
Oh.
But if you were to understand Krishna as Adhibhut, how can I understand that I understand Krishna as Akshar. Krishna never perishes. But now he said, you understand me to be like this, right? So it seems like there is a controversial thing going on between the 2 chapters there, right? But it's not controversial. It's our intellect that can only think in one direction, right? This is called achintya bhed abhed, simultaneous oneness and difference, right? So there is Krishna staying in Golok Vrindavan. And then there are his energies. And one of them energies is material energy. From this is material world is made. Right? And anything in this material world will externally go through all these changes, which is birth, death, old age, and disease. But because energy and the energetic are not different, right? Right? The energy comes from the energetic. The one who has the energy will be able to give out the energy, right? So they are the same because energy is also the Radharani is part of Krishna. Radharani is Krishna's energy, right? So they are not different. So that's why we can think of this material world also as Krishna. And in Bhagavatam, we hear that, yes, material world is his energies. And it becomes Maya when you utilize it for your own enjoyment. When you utilize the same energy for the purposes of Krishna, it becomes the diya, it becomes the transcendental object. You utilize in Krishna's worship, right? So that's one way of looking at it, as to when we say that, he's saying that, look at this material energy and look at it as I am that. And then before we get confused that how can Krishna be that? Because he's saying Sharo Bhava, that it is Shar, right? So that's one way to understand. Another way to understand that is that if certain things happen cyclically over and over again, then it is considered to be a permanent phenomena. For example, in this chapter, we also talked about Sahasrayug Paryantam Ahadyat Brahmano Vidut. From 1,000 years taking of Brahma, they become one night, a day, and everything is annihilated and everything is created again, right? So when this creation is happening over and over again and again, that means the Prakrti, if you look at it over a period of time, it will see, oh, it was always there. Yeah, it got annihilated, but it was created again. Yeah, so that way it is also permanent, considered that to be permanent. But you have to also remember that change is the only constant thing in the world, right? It changes all the time. Like even sometimes they say, like sometimes there's a saying that you don't put your foot into the same river 2 times. You put your foot in the river, you take it out, and then you put your foot in the river again. It was a different river. Why? Because the water is constantly flowing. Right. Similarly, in our bodies also, we say that we have to understand that this body is also changing. And those with a doctor's background will say, like, every 6 months you have a new liver or whatever, you have new hair, like that. Everything, skin, everything changes all the time. Everything is getting new. So there is nothing which is permanent, right? So to that extent, he's saying that it changes all the time, right? Now, when it comes to Krishna, and when it comes to spiritual world, when we are saying that spiritual world, things which are spiritual do not change, you have to understand we are talking about the external features and not the internal feature. So by external feature, what I mean is that when you look at a material body, like a little kitten, so you can see the kitten being born. Then you will see the kitten, is growing up. It can now stand on its own leg. It can crawl, walk, like that, right? And then it'll grow old. It'll produce kitten of its own. Then you can see it's getting old, and then one day it'll die. So you're seeing the external things of the kitten. But when it comes to Krishna, the external things do not change. Or when it comes to the soul, the external things do not change. These external kind of things, like a soul will never get wrinkles. Soul will not grow in size or diminish in size. The soul, okay, it doesn't happen. And so, but there can be change. There can be internal changes. And what I mean by internal changes is that the consciousness of a soul can change. The mood of a soul can change. The soul can be angry, soul can be happy. There are changes happening in the soul, right? But what this verse is talking about is the external as compared to the Brahman. This Adhibhut has got externally, it changes. You can visibly see people are young or they are old, right? But for a soul, you cannot say the soul is old, soul is young. The soul still feels the same in the same body, right? That's what we are noticing here. So that is something to be thought about. And then, so this was one, Adhibhutam Sharubhava Puruṣasya Adidevatam Adhiyagya. Yeah. Then he's also talking about the universal form. What was the word for the universal form?
Adhyatam.
Adidevata, right?
Adideva.
Adideva, right? So Adideva is the universal form of the Lord
Adideva.
that includes everybody, right? That includes everybody. So
माता जी आपकी आवाज ही नहीं आती, बीच बीच में बहुत जा रही है आज.
अभी क्या करूं मैं? मैं इंटरनेट पे पेपर से बैठी हूँ.
We can hear.
We are hearing nice.
We
Yeah.
can,
You
we
able
can
to
hear
hear?
you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, Mataji, continue.
रिकॉर्डिंग सुन लेना.
जी माता जी आज बीच में बहुत जा रही है आपकी आवाज.
अच्छा, आप एक बार डिस्कनेक्ट करके एक बार कनेक्ट कर लो. वैसे तो मैं क्लास खत्म करने वाली हूँ थोड़े मिनट में.
नहीं
तो
मैंने
फिर
किया, दोबारा किया.
It's fine,
Join. हाँ,
अच्छा
नहीं, ठीक आ रहा है बात.
अच्छा बार है.
अभी
ओके
बेटर है, अभी
okay,
ठीक है.
good good good. Yeah, so then I was talking about
Adidev.
Adidev, right? So I was talking about Adidev. So isme what he's telling Krishna is that he's talking about the universal form, Virat Purush. That's also a Purush, right? So what he's trying to tell here, and we have to understand that there's a planetary system is there. Planets are there. There are different types of planet, big, small, and all that. And so people like to look at this universe in some sort of a form. And we are giving this, one thing is that we want people, certain set of people, not you, certain set of people, we want them to look at nature. We want them to look at nature. And then why? Because, and it is so funny that just yesterday at my office, they were giving me some courses to read. They sent me some courses to read, which had to do with how managers influence and influencers and all that, right? And in that context, they sent me an interview with Oprah Winfrey. Somebody was interviewing Oprah Winfrey, and she's a big influencer, right? She's influenced so many lives. And so she was saying that, and by the way, if you don't know, that she does read a lot of our scriptures and quotes from them. And so she was saying that she's so much into earth and nature and all that. And then she said, when you look at nature, how can you not think of divinity when you look at nature? And I was just laughing in my head because I was like, oh, tomorrow we are exactly going to do the same thing here, in Bhagavad-gita. What Krishna is saying is that it is sometimes difficult for people to think of Krishna in the heart. It's difficult for people to imagine and understand and agree that there is a Krishna in Golok Vrindavan, that there are spiritual planets and all that comes with faith, right? But if you don't have that kind of faith, he's saying, okay, you start with this universe. Because what's going to happen is that the moment you start looking at the universe, right, you will be struck with awe and wonder. Right from the minutest and the microscopic things that are done so wonderfully to the macroscopic things that are done so wonderfully. Like look at us, you pluck a small petal from a flower and look how intricate this is and how delicate it is and how it grows by itself, apparently, right? You can look at that. You can go to where a building is being constructed and look at the massive cranes that are lifting all these things. And then you think about the Karanodakshai Vishnu and how the universes are coming out of his pores. So you must like, oh my goodness, how big is
His body.
Karanodakshai Vishnu?
Is
How
Mahavishnu.
big is Karanodakshai Vishnu? Right? So you will be in awe. And with that awe, when you see all that, you'll start to think that, oh, I'm looking at Jupiter with its 7 moons or 5 moons or whatever they say, Saturn, all that. When you look at these planets, you look at these massive redwood trees and all that, you're filled with awe and wonder. And then you will start to think that there has to be some intelligence behind it, somebody supreme controller is behind that, right? Bhaktas don't think like that. Bhaktas don't have to be impressed about Krishna because of his size. Bhaktas will, you tell the bhakta that Krishna lifted the Govardhan when he was 5 years old, and the bhakta says yes. He doesn't have to be shown a Himalaya mountain and show that Krishna created that to understand the awesomeness of Krishna. That is bhakti. But here in this verse, he's not addressing the bhaktas. He's just saying that some people just can't concentrate, so we start there. And actually in Srimad Bhagavatam, this chapter where the Virat Purusha is described is called as the first step in God realization. Very first step, like that. To look at that. But you don't have to do that. So this is Panthavad, where you go and see God in everything. You look at a flower, very beautiful. You look at a computer, oh, very intricate design. You look at an aeroplane, oh, fantastic, like that. Look at a crane, very good. Look at a gushing river, look at a sea, massiveness, big waves, giant waves coming. Wow, right? It's only when the bhakta starts to look at all this thing, then he says, oh, maya adhakshena prakrti suyate cha saracharam. So Krishna is saying, this is all that you're seeing is material nature, right? When the tsunami came in Japan, I think almost a decade ago, cars that were weighing tons and tons, they were tossed about in the water. And that was the strength of Maya. And what did Vyasadeva see? Vyasadeva saw Maya standing behind Krishna as his subordinate. He already knows that Maya is there. He looks at, when he sees all these wonderful things, he says it's Krishna's energy that is acting, right? And when a neophyte, and Prabhupada uses the word neophyte, right? When a neophyte looks at it, he's just looking for like, who has created all this? Who has created all this, right? And there's a very interesting question. There's a very interesting narration that one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, I'm forgetting the name, mentioned that he was in London and trying to tell people, one of his friends, they used to have philosophical discussions, and he used to say that the other one believed in the Big Bang theory. Big Bang theory is that everything burst out. There was a Big Bang, and then universe is created. They don't even pause to think about who was the cause of the bang, who was the cause, Karana, Karanodak, right? Who was the cause of that Big Bang? And then all these things got created, but where did you get the material to create them? They don't think like that, right? Big scientists with PhDs and honorary degrees and president awards and all that, they don't think from that perspective because they are not surrendered to Krishna. They refuse to link like that. So this guy always used to say there's a Big Bang theory, and this one used to talk about Karanadaksha, Vishnu and his exhalation and all that, right? And so one day, this devotee got a very nice thing made from it was very expensive, but it was a model of the solar system. And so it had the sun in the middle, and it had nice planets, and you press a button and they would move around. And there were tiny moons around each of the planets, and the moons would be moving around the planets, and the planets would be moving around the sun, the so-called scientific explanation or model of solar system, but he got that. And so when his friend came to visit in his home after dinner, they went to sit down in his study. And so there was this nice model over there. And so this non-devotee friend said, oh, what is this? So he then pressed the button and everything like lit up and was moving and all that, and very precisely done. Earth went around the sun in so much time, other planets, Mercury went faster, so on and so forth. All that we learned in science was very beautiful. And this man said that, wow, this is amazing. From where did you get it? He said, nah. He said, no. But, tell me, who is the manufacturer? He said, no, there was a Big Bang in my room, and this all got created by itself. So that's when his friend understood, right? That how faulty is that thinking when we say everything happens by itself. There has to be a superior intelligence behind all this, and the bhaktas will understand that it is God, right? So bhaktas will look at the universal form in a different way. And the spiritual, see, when Arjuna is shown the universal form, Krishna shows the universal form, right? When Arjuna is shown the universal form to Krishna, what does he say? He says,
No, I don't want it.
I don't
He's
want
Show me
it.
your
dreadful. Can't
two-armed
tolerate
form.
it.
Give me your two-arm form, right? That's a bhakta. So on that note, I'll stop here if there are any questions.
Mataji, 1 minute. I'll just say that Mataji, Karanodakshaya Vishnu, from his body, all the universes come out. He is in Karanodak ocean. Then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, from the stem, Brahmaji comes out. And from that stem, all the living beings also, everything comes out. Then Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, he is in the Kshira ocean, and he is in every atom, every living being, every atom. He is there in the form of Paramatma.
Right, right. So few questions now, few fill in the blanks, few more tweaks to your notes.
Yes.
And this will be general a question for the class also. So from where does Garbhodakshaya Vishnu come? You said Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and there is something coming from his navel, right? But from where does Garbhodakshaya Vishnu come?
It's expansion of Karanodakshaya Vishnu.
He's an expansion. Yeah, he's an expansion of Karanodakshaya.
Expansion of Karanodakshaya Vishnu.
Right? So when Karanodakshaya is breathing out the universes, he's also incarnating as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and entering into this universe. Okay. Now inside the universe, right? Inside the universe, you said there is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, right? He expands as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. And Virodakshaya Vishnu is in everybody's heart. And then you said that Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is in Shir Sagar, right? So where is Shir Sagar?
Dhruva planet.
In the Dhruva planet, right? That will complete your picture. Good.
In the Dhruva planet.
Polar star, yes.
Oh, thank you.
So it is an interesting thing that even as bhaktas, you can now go back and go out and look at the sky and you see the polar star. You can imagine that Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is there.
Is there, yeah.
Thank you, Sutapa, for joining.
Mataji, I noted down the shlokas which are to be learned.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
9th chapter, because these days we are reading 9th chapter, so I'm paying attention to those shlokas.
Very nice. Yeah, yeah. If you're doing 9th chapter, then try to see where he's talking about
9.2,
where there's connection with
9.3, 9.4, 9.10, 9.11, 13, 14, 22, 25, 26, 30, 32, 34.
Okay, we'll ask you.
I'll try, Mataji, but four
No,
shlokas.
good. It's good. Yeah, it's good to try.
4 shlokas. Last one, man manam, but that is not it.
Okay.
Then patram pushpam phalam toyam.
There you go.
9 chapters, such nice verses.
It's very nice
Yes.
verses, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. I have to leave.
Thank you. I have to leave too.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining and for your interesting conversation.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you.
meet again
so
on Sunday
much.
morning.
Thank
Krishna
you,
will-
Mataji.